Hi and welcome. I'm trying to learn history today, Mesopotamia, and after we've done it, we're gonna do standing leg stretching. And if you participate in the standing leg stretching, that's the task. Now, we had that in the last part, and these were a little bit different informations than we expected. And now we want to go over them and look what we have here. Now, this was mostly an explanation what was written on 7 clay tablets which were found in 1845 in Nineveh. And on these 7 clay tablets, there's a story written down. And this story tells the origin in a mythological way of Mesopotamia. Now, what we basically want to do is to learn this myth of the origin of the creation myth of Mesopotamia. Myths from the Middle East are the oldest recorded by mythology in the world, dating from 2560. So if someone asks, what are the oldest myths recorded? These are the ones from the Middle East, 2500 before Christ. The Babylonian creation myth grew from the Sumerian creation myth. It is called the Enuma Elish. Okay, that is the Babylonian creation myth. Where comes from Mesopotamia now? The Babylonian creation myth is called Enuma Elish. The Enuma Elish was found written in a language called cuneiform on 7 clay tablets by archaeologists excavating in Nineveh in Anno Domini 1845. The Enuma Elish says that in the beginning the universe was made of salt waters, Mother Tiamat, sweet waters, Father Apsu, and a mist, their son Mumu. The waters gave birth to new young rebellious gods who overthrew Apsu and Mumu. Tiamat and her followers, led by a god called King Ju, were conquered by a male Babylonian god, Marduk, in a battle of powerful magic. The Babylonians pictured Marduk with 4 eyes and 4 ears, so he could see and hear everything. Fire spurted from his mouth, and a loose blazed from his hand. Marduk became the new ruler. He made Tiamat's body into the earth and sky. He appointed gods to rule the heavens, the earth, and the air in between. Humans were created out of King Ju's blood. Marduk made them build a temple to himself and the other gods at Babylon. Every spring, Babylon was in danger of devastating flooding from the mighty rivers Tigris and Euphrates. Historians believe that the Enuma Elish might have been acted out as a pantomime to please Marduk, so he kept order and prevented the flooding. Okay, I think I get it. What was meant with the last part here. These people of Babylon, they had this creation myth which is called Enuma Elish, and now following this myth, they said, hey, let's build this temple. Around 2100 before Christ, the Sumerians of Mesopotamia built massive stepped temples of mud bricks called ziggurats. Okay, it are the Sumerians, and they are living in Mesopotamia. And who are now the Babylonians? The Babylonian creation myth grew from the Sumerian creation myth. It is called the Enuma Elish. The Babylonian creation myth is the Enuma Elish. And the Enuma Elish was written in... And the Enuma Elish tells the myth after which the Sumerians built in Mesopotamia the massive temples. Mesopotamia is a country. Babylon is also a region or a city, and they are living the Babylonians. The Sumerians are living in Mesopotamia. And where do the Babylonians live? Babylon was in danger of devastating flooding from the mighty rivers Tigris and Euphrates. Historians believe that the Enuma Elish might have been acted out as a pantomime to please Marduk, so he kept order and prevented the flooding. So in Babylon, the Babylonians built the temple. Here is written, the Sumerians of Mesopotamia built massive temples. The Babylonians and the Sumerians are the same. The Babylonian creation myth grew from the Sumerian creation myth. That's actually a big problem. I don't know who the Babylonians and who the Sumerians are. Are they the same people? It would be possible. Mesopotamia is the big region, and they are living the Sumerians, and Babylon is a city, and they were living the Babylonians. But all Babylonians are Sumerians, but not all Sumerians are Babylonians. Like all New Yorker are United States American citizens, or they are United Americans, but not all Americans are New Yorker. I'm going to stay with it. That's the thing that makes sense to me. We're going to say it like that. Mesopotamia is the whole region, in that are living the Sumerians. Babylon is a city, and they're living the Babylonians. And the Babylonians are part of Mesopotamia and are also Sumerians, but they are Babylonians. And now we're going to stay with it in mind while we keep reading on and look if we find something contradicting to it, and if it makes continuously sense. Okay, let's try to learn this Mesopotamian Babylonian creation myth called Enuma Elish. Because we want to make a little presentation, and where we want to say what the Enuma Elish legend is. Maybe we're going to say just the legend, we don't have to say if it's the Babylonian or the Sumerian or the Mesopotamian creation myth. Okay, we're starting with the datas. These are basically the hardest ones to remember. This whole mythology of 2500 before Christ, so 4,500 years ago, is the whole background. Okay, and there is the Enuma Elish, and that is the legend of the creation of Babylon, but also partly of Sumeria. Of the Sumerians or of Sumerian, and the whole thing is in Mesopotamia. And this Enuma Elish written down the origin story of Babylon and also the whole Sumerian people in Mesopotamia is written in a language called cuneiform and was found on 7 clay tablets in Nineveh in 1845. Okay, in 1845, archaeologists found 7 clay tablets, and on them was in the Koine language the Enuma Elish myth written, and that is a myth about how the Babylonian people came about, which is the myth about the origin of Babylon. Now, this myth tells that there were 3 people, and with that we're going to end. The salt water, the sweet water, and the mist. Salt water was Mother Tiamat, sweet water Father Apsu, and the mist, the sun Mumu. Tiamat, Apsu, and Mumu. With that we're going to end. If you're here for history, you can go directly to the next part. We will do now the standing leg stretching. If you participate in the standing leg stretching, we'll set your own risk. We're starting with the crane, bring one leg up, and we're pointing the foot down. Now bring the other leg up and point the foot down. Take again the leg at the ankle. Make a straight back and bring the knee down to the floor so it's actually stretching the quad muscles. And the other leg. Straight back and the knee down to the floor. And the next exercise, the garden below. Heel onto the ground, pull the toes in and move the leg from left to right. And the other heel onto the ground, pull the toes in and move the leg from left to right. And we're doing the chain bar. Hold one side, the toes are pointing forward, and stretching the inner side of the leg. And over to the other side. The toes are pointing forward and stretching the inner side of the leg. And we're doing the next exercise, the Niagara Falls, legs wide apart, and we're hanging down. And this is a leg stretch, so we're not trying to come deeper down. We're just helping to stretch by breathing deep in through the nose into the chest, and by breathing out through the mouth. And again in, and out. And again in. And out we count over to one leg. Breathe again. And out over the other side. Breathe again. And out into the middle.
And we're doing the salto antico. Bring the feet together and keep on hanging down. So breathe again in. And out. Again in. And now we're coming slowly with a little back up and making it between the backwards. Shoulder. And we're ending with a high cast hilltop stretch. Heel onto the ground and pull the toes in. Bring the foot to the left and pull the toes in. Foot to the right and pull the toes in. Into the middle, pull the toes in. And move the leg from left to right. The other heel onto the ground, pull the toes in. Foot to the right and pull the toes in. To the left and pull the toes in. To the middle, pull the toes in. Move the leg from left to right. And let's end with a trunk ignite. Have the breathing in, going down. And breathe out. Again in. And out. And last one, breathe in. Out. Breathe in, cross the legs. And out. That was standing leg stretching. I thank you very much, and at the next time.